Good morning students, welcome you all. In this lecture we are going to discuss about the topic controlling torque. The objective of this lecture is, by the end of this lecture you are able to understand the purpose of controlling torque, various methods of producing your controlling torque, the principle and the construction of different methods of producing controlling torque. So coming to the controlling torque. Before discussing about the controlling torque, in our previous lectures we have discussed about deflecting torque and various methods of producing deflecting torque. They are magnetic effect, induction effect, electrostatic effect, thermal effect, Hall effect. So by using any of these methods you can produce your deflecting torque. So the deflecting torque makes the pointer to move from its initial 0 position. However, it will not stop at one particular position, so you cannot take the reading exactly. So to make the measurement indicated by the pointer steady or constant, a force is required in opposite direction. So that force is nothing but your controlling force, and the system which produces this force is nothing but your controlling system. So this is because of controlling torque, your pointer is indicating a steady value such that when your deflecting torque is equal to your controlling torque. Your pointer tends to deflect a steady or constant value when your deflecting torque is equal to your controlling torque. If your deflecting torque is more than your controlling torque, then your pointer tends to oscillate or deflect towards your full scale deflection. And if your controlling torque is more than your deflecting torque, your pointer tends to deflect towards your 0 position. In either of the cases, you cannot get the exact value of the quantity to be measured. So if you want to have the steady value of the pointer, so you need a controlling torque which should be acting in opposite direction to the deflecting torque. So when the external signal is removed, the pointer should deflect back to its initial 0 position, but however this will not happen. So to make the pointer come back to its initial 0 position will be taken care by your controlling torque. That means your controlling torque make the pointer or deflects the pointer to its initial 0 position when you are removing your external signal. So the controlling torque serves two purposes. That means it allows the pointer to indicate a steady value, and it also helps the pointer to deflect back to its initial 0 position when you are removing your external signal. Those are the two purposes served by your controlling torque. So this controlling torque can be produced by two methods. Those are spring control and gravity control. Thus, that is the schematic of your spring control, which consists of a spindle, a pointer, a calibrated scale and jewel bearings and two control springs. Those two control springs are used for the production of your controlling torque. So the springs are made up of phosphorus hair. Hair bronze springs are used for the production of your controlling torque. Many other materials like silver, bronze, platinum, silver, copper, etc. can also be used, but those won't give you the exact value of the quantity to be measured. So phosphorus hair bronze springs are of spiral shape are attached to the spindle of the pointer. So the two springs are wounded in opposite direction. If one of the spring gets wounded or tightened, the other gets unwounded or twisted. The reason for using two springs is in order to reduce the effect of temperature on the length of the spring. So we are using two springs for the production of your controlling torque. So the pointer is attached to the spindle and the control springs are also attached to the spindle. Because of your deflecting torque, the pointer deflects from its initial 0 position. Since the pointer is attached to the spindle, when the pointer deflects from its initial 0 position, the spindle tends to rotate, and hence the control springs which are attached to the spindle also rotates. That means also get twisted. One of the springs gets twisted or tightened and the other gets unwounded. So the spring, because of the twisting, the spring will not allow the spindle to further rotate and producing a force called controlling force, and this is nothing but your controlling torque. When the spindle is rotating, the spring attached with the spindle will oppose the movement of the spindle and hence the pointer, and hence the pointer will show a definite constant value. So, the torque produced by the spring is directly proportional to the pointer deflection. That means, when your pointer is deflecting more, the springs will be tightened more. That means, when your pointer is deflecting more, the spindle will be rotating more, and hence the spring which is attached to the spindle gets tightened more. That means, the tightening of the spring or the wounding of the spring is depending upon the deflection of the pointer, and hence the torque developed by the spring is directly proportional to the angle of deflection theta, and hence tau c or controlling torque is directly proportional to angle of deflection. And coming to the torque equation of your spring control system, as already discussed, tau c or the controlling torque is directly proportional to angle of deflection. When you are removing your proportionality, you will be getting a constant called K. So, controlling torque is equal to K into theta, where K is nothing but K is equals to EB T cube by 12L into theta, where E is nothing but the Young's modulus of the spring, which depends upon the material with which the spring is made of, and B is the width of the spring measured in meters, and T is the thickness of the spring measured in meters, and L is the length of the spring measured in meters, and theta is the angle of deflection, and E, B, T are constants for a particular spring, and where K is nothing but spring constant or control constant or torsion constant. So, when the deflecting torque, we have already discussed that the deflecting torque is directly proportional to angle of deflection theta. So, tau d is directly proportional to the current flowing through the unknown quantity to be measured. So, the deflecting torque is directly proportional to your deflecting torque is directly proportional to the quantity to be measured. But we have already discussed that the deflecting torque, when the deflecting torque is equal to the controlling torque, the pointer shows the steady value, so that we can measure the quantity to be measured. So, under steady state conditions, the controlling torque is equal to deflecting torque. That means, since the controlling torque is directly proportional to angle of deflection and your deflecting torque is directly proportional to current flowing through the conductor, so you can get theta is directly proportional to I. That means, the angle of deflection is directly proportional to the unknown quantity of the current to be measured. And coming to the gravity control, before discussing about the gravity control, the springs which we are using for the production of control torque need to possess some characteristics. Those are, the spring should be of non-magnetic in nature. They should be made of material which is non-magnetic, such that it will not affect the magnetic field produced by the electromagnets which are used for the production of deflecting torque. So, the spring should be of non-magnetic in nature. They should also have good cross section. When you are using your springs as a connecting leads for the coil, the cross section of the spring should be such that it should withstand the current that is flowing through the coil, and moreover it should have small resistance. The spring should be proof from mechanical fatigue. It should also have low temperature coefficient of resistance. These are the characteristics that the springs need to be possessed, so that they can be used for the production of controlling torque. So, coming to the gravity control, in case of your gravity control, the control torque is developed with the help of gravity. So, the principle behind your gravity control is based on gravity. That is the schematic of your gravity control, which consists of a spindle, a control arms on which the control weights are placed, and a balanced weight and a spindle. The control weights are placed on the arm attached to the spindle, and a balanced weight is placed in order to balance the system. The position of the control weights is adjustable, and this weight produces a controlling torque due to gravity. So, when the pointer is deflected due to the deflecting torque, for example, suppose let us consider the pointer is deflected by the deflecting torque by an angle theta. Since the pointer is attached to the spindle and the control arm is also attached to the spindle, when your pointer is getting deflected, the control arm consisting of the control weights also gets deflected by an angle theta as shown. When your pointer is deflecting through an angle theta, since this pointer is attached to the spindle and the control arm is also attached to the spindle, when this pointer is deflected by an angle theta, this control arm consisting of the control weight deflects by an angle theta. So, now this control weight is placed here, which is at a distance of r from the initial point. Now, because of gravity, this control weight tends to move to its initial position because of gravity. So, the force which is acting on this control weight in order to bring back to its initial position is nothing but control or control torque. So, you can observe here, this is the initial position of the control weight or the control, this is the initial position of the control weight. Now, because of the deflection of the pointer, this control arm is getting deflected by an angle theta. Now, the control arm is here, which is at a distance of r from its initial point. Now, because of gravity, this control arm tends to move to its initial position. Now, resembling it into components, or the force acting in this direction will be your W sin theta, and the perpendicular component will be your W cos theta, and the resultant will be your W. So, the force which is acting in order to bring the control arm back to its initial position is W sin theta. So, torque is, and we are assuming the length of the control arm as L. So, the torque, the control torque is given as force into perpendicular distance. So, force into perpendicular distance, the force now acting there is, now the force acting is W sin theta into perpendicular distance is L. So, this becomes WL into sin theta. I am replacing this WL as kg, which is nothing but your gravity constant. So, your controlling torque is given as tau c is equals to kg into sin theta, where this kg is nothing but your gravity constant, which is nothing but your W into L. Thus, the controlling torque is directly proportional to sine of angle. So, the controlling can be varied by simply adjusting the control weights upon the arm which carries it. However, this controlling torque, the instruments which are employing this controlling torque cannot be operated in horizontal direction, because since it is working on gravity, they should always be placed in vertical direction and cannot be operated under horizontal direction. So, that is the main drawback of these instruments, and moreover, since the controlling torque is directly proportional to, since the controlling torque is directly proportional to sine of angle of deflection, the scale of these instruments employing the gravity control is not uniform. Scale is cramped at the lower end because the controlling torque is not directly depending upon the angle theta, but is depending upon the sine of angle of deflection, and hence the scale is not uniform in case of your instrument employing gravity control. So generally these instruments, generally in laboratories, the instruments which we are using does not employ this gravity control, and this gravity control is employed only in instruments where simplicity and cost is the major factor. And coming to the summary, in this lecture we have discussed about the controlling torque and various methods of producing the controlling torque. So we have discussed about the spring control, in which the controlling torque is directly proportional to angle of deflection. When we are removing the proportionality, we are getting a constant which is given as EB T³ by 12 into L, where E is nothing but the Young's modulus of the spring, which depends upon the material with which the spring is prepared, and B is the thickness of, B is the width of the spring, and T is the thickness of the spring, and L is the length of the spring. Since the controlling torque is directly proportional to angle of deflection and it is not depending upon any other parameter, the scale of these instruments is uniform in nature. And moreover, the instruments which we are using in our laboratories are basically employs spring control type of controlling torque. And coming to the gravity control, these instruments operate on the basis of gravity. So the controlling torque in case of your gravity control is given as tau c is equals to omega L into sin theta. I am replacing this omega L as k into kg, which is nothing but your gravity constant, and hence your controlling torque is directly proportional to sin theta. That means since it is proportional to sine of angle of deflection, the scale of these instruments is not uniform. Thank you.